to our second video for our Storymakers series during Lent. If you have your zine, go ahead and get it out. If not, just get some paper, pencils, markers, whatever you need to have fun. Our story today starts with this image. I wonder what you notice here. We see a man holding his hand out over one who is bowed down. I see this kind of swirly something happening. I wonder what that could be. And then it looks like this light is coming down out of the sky. Our verse for today is from the Gospel of Mark. I have baptized you with water, but he will baptize you with the Holy Spirit. Let's dive into our story.
Okay, our story today is on baptism. We will need a narrator, John the Baptist, the crowds, Jesus, and God this time. Which ones are you going to be, Margaret Ann?
I'm going to be John the Baptist and God.
You're going to be the voice of God?
Yes.
Okay, those are big shoes to fill. So I'll be the other ones. Ready? Before Jesus began teaching, he was baptized by his cousin John. Now, John wasn't fancy, and it may be hard to imagine, but his clothes were made out of camel's hair, and he ate bugs with honey. Let's just say John had his own style. Yet the crowds met him at the Jordan River to hear his message.
Friends, today I will baptize you with water, but soon someone will baptize you with the Holy Spirit. Hear this, the one coming is beyond us all, and I would not ever be worthy to fix his sandals.
John, who is that approaching in the distance?
It is Jesus, the son of Joseph and Mary of Nazareth, my second cousin.
Hello, John. I have come to be baptized.
I'm unworthy, but I will do as you ask. I will baptize you with water, but soon you will baptize me with the Holy Spirit.
Jesus was plunged into the Jordan River, and when he came up, the sky broke open. Is that a spirit or a dove coming down upon Jesus? The Holy Spirit came upon Jesus, and then a loud voice was heard.
You are my beloved Son. With you I am well pleased.
After Jesus was baptized, he went out into the wilderness, where he was taunted by El Diablo, the devil, for 40 days. During his time away, King Herod became jealous of John and his popularity. John was arrested, and Jesus returned to begin sharing God's message with the whole world. Thanks, Margaret Ann.
The story that you just heard takes place during the reign of King Herod. This was over 2,000 years ago. King Herod was a jealous king, and he was always trying to get his way. So the people of the time were hoping for a hero, a king who would save them from the bad leaders. But what they didn't realize is that Jesus was coming to be a very different kind of king. He was not coming to overthrow the current king and the current government. Instead, he was coming to try to teach them a whole new way of living. John was the cousin of Jesus, and he told people that someone was coming who would be this new kind of leader, this new kind of hero almost. He wouldn't act in the way that they would imagine, though. Can you imagine a king, a leader, a hero, like the one that they were waiting for, being baptized in the way that Jesus was? Jesus did this to show us that God's way is the best way, and in a totally different way than what they had been used to. John was a character. We call him John the Baptist because he's the one who baptized Jesus. And one of the only other things that we hear about him in this story is that he ate locusts, which are bugs, and wild honey. And he didn't dress in fancy ways. He covered himself with sheepskin, with animal furs. This is who Jesus asked to baptize him. I just love that. The Gospels are so full of surprises. In this story, we get introduced to the Holy Spirit of God. The Spirit of God is hinted at all through the Hebrew Scriptures. But in Jesus' baptism, the Holy Spirit makes a grand entrance.
Okay. On our coloring page next to the field notes, we both drew some pictures of times we wanted to be made new. Ever since the beginning, humans have had yucky feelings when they live for themselves first, above others and God. This is the beauty of baptism, a way to take the yuck away and start new. So Margaret Ann, what did you draw? What's the time you wanted to be made new?
When I got braces, because it hurted for the first couple of days.
Yeah, you just wanted to start all over, right? Yeah. I drew a time I fell in the mud, because not only was I dirty and wanted to be made new and clean, but I was embarrassed. I just wished I could hide away and pretend it had never happened. It's a good thing we have baptism, huh?
Yeah.
For our comic strip, what could we use in our toolbox?
So, the other one, it's the same, markers, pens, crayons, colored pencils, pastels, and pencils. It's probably not that you need all of them. It's probably just ones that you can use.
Can you think of anything else we could use that maybe isn't listed? Could we use paint?
Yeah.
Could we paint our picture?
We could paint, but maybe that would get the paper wet.
Ooh. Maybe instead of on the page, we could do Play-Doh and make the story out of Play-Doh.
Yeah, or this thing called Man Router. Oh, and maybe string.
Ooh, yeah, all our supplies here.
I forgot what these are called.
Oh, I don't know either. Well, imagine yourself in the desert next to a beautiful river. What do you see? Can you picture John eating bugs dipped in honey and baptizing the crowds? Then in comes Jesus with the epic voice of God overhead. Wow, what a scene. Take in all the details of the story from Mark and retell it for yourself. And don't forget the details.
I just realized that the wow is in gold.
Yeah.
Or yellow.
Like a big wow.
Yes, a really big wow.
So Jesus was baptized to show us that our hearts are moved by the Holy Spirit in our baptism. Water is a symbol of outward cleansing. Water shows up so many times in some of our most memorable stories in the Bible. It was through the waters of chaos that God created the world. Through the waters of Noah's story, God promised to never again destroy the earth. Moses parted the waters to show God's power and to show that God wanted his people to live in freedom. And so it is with water that Jesus was baptized, and that maybe you were baptized or one day will be. The Gospel of Mark is full of action. It's our shortest gospel, and one thing happens quickly after the other in it. Mark wanted us to know the most important accounts of Jesus' life. And so in this story today, I hope that you learned a little bit more about the power of Jesus' baptism and the power that he has in the world.